Okay, so my name is Pastor Charles Williams, last name spelled Williams.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty. Well, I guess first question I'd like to ask you, what's the kind of important thing going on today?
Well, today we're honoring the National Amber Alert Awareness Day, where today we remember the life that was lost of 9-year-old Amber Hagerman, but we also remember what was started at that same time, which is the Amber Alert concept. We are also honoring the work that that has been done by many of our first responders across the country as it relates to Amber Alerts.
Okay. How long has Amber Alert been around now?
Amber Alert has been around since 1996, since the tragic murder of Amber Hagerman, the kidnapping and murder of Amber Hagerman, and as a result of the inspiration from her abduction and subsequently murder, was this thing born.
Okay. And is today like the anniversary of that, or how can you pick today?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Today is the anniversary.
Okay, gotcha. All right, cool. Well, I guess I'd like to ask if it weren't for Amber Alert being around now, as long as it's been, how do you think, where do you think we'd be at right now if we didn't have it?
Wow, that's a good question. I believe that if Amber Alerts were not in play as they are right now, I'm not for sure exactly what our outcomes would be at this time, because during the time that the Amber Alert came forth, there was a problem that there have been so many abductions from California to Texas and so forth. And at the time that Amber was abducted on that Saturday, I'm a father of 4 daughters. And it just really did something. It struck a chord with me as to, my Lord, what is this mom going through? What is this family going through? And how I would respond to something like that, God forbid, had it been one of my own children.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Anything you think would surprise people about how the system works?
Well, there's a lot of surprises going on right now. In fact, the biggest surprise is the latest upgrade to the Amber Alert concept, which is that it is now part of the CAMS, the CAMS service, which now allows those users of smartphones, wherever you are, you will receive an Amber Alert for that particular area. One of the major problems that was going on prior to this was the fact that if you lived in Texas and took a vacation to Florida, you would not be notified of the Amber Alert in Florida because you signed up and your information was for Texas Amber Alerts. But now, anywhere you go in the country, you will receive current and relevant Amber Alerts should one be initiated while you're there. And that's something that has just started taking place here about mid-December.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Cool, okay. And what kind of inspired you to put this all together?
Well, like I said, the inspiration behind learning that this young girl had been abducted and seeing how the police officers and law enforcement officials at large had just come to a dead end. And it was once they got to the dead end, that's when they decided to ask for the general public's help. And so it was at that time, after much prayer over the weekend, and when I got back to work and on my break that Monday morning, I called the local radio station and shared with the local sheriff, D. Anderson, who was there at the time, with the talk show host, that hey, what would happen if we took and used this system? Just like whenever a tornado is coming into our area and so forth, we can tell you exactly, or a weatherman rather can tell you exactly the area of warning to look out for. I said, what would happen if you just simply got on the radio and said, hey, there's a missing child in our area. They saw him leaving in a black car or a black truck or something. Then that would put eyes and ears on every corner of that city looking for that one child. And the officer who heard that, he was like, you know, this sounds like something that's so simple, but I really do believe it'll work, simply because police officers cannot be at every corner at one time. Once this Amber Alert goes out over the radio, my goodness, everybody is looking for that one child. And I'm particularly excited now because we have the use of texting everyone. And here's a scenario. As we are able to text everyone whenever an Amber Alert happens in your city, what we do, I mean, that puts, if let's say, for instance, you're at a football game this afternoon. Can you imagine 60,000 people being texted at one time that there's a child missing and on their way home? You know, they have all this information in the palm of their hand. So we're really, really excited about the expansion of the Amber Alert because it really goes back to its grassroots form.
Cool. Okay. Great. Well, you answered all my questions, sir. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yes, I do. There's just one other thing. I always like to mention, this is a copy of our book. It's called Faces of the Amber Alert. A lot of the humble beginnings of how we all started and everything, it's written in this book. Here you see myself and President George W. Bush on the cover, and we encourage you to get a copy of the book. There are a lot of safety tips in there, and I share with people all the time. If you want to know how to keep your kids safe, please pick up a copy of this book because it's loaded with a lot of safety tips for you and your children and the people of Virginia.
Cool. Okay. Great. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so very much. And we're going to turn this around here to you. Would you hold on? Let me stop the tape here.